Ollie was hanging out with some friends when they decided to go and um, rent a cabin for a weekend, some weekend soon. This was in December, mind you. And so the hostess, whose name is Abby, went and got her calendar, and she came back and said, "Look at this. This is a strange thing." And I said, "What?" She said, "It's my calendar, but New Year's Day is gone." I said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, it looks like someone cut New Year's Day out of my calendar. Isn't that the weirdest thing?" I said, "Yeah, that is weird. Has it been like that the whole time?" He said, "Well, gosh, I don't know. I mean, I don't remember, but I wasn't looking specifically for that. But I don't think it used. I think it used to have a square there. I think I would have noticed that." I said, "Yeah, that is weird." Anyway, and so they went back to planning their weekend, which is going to be sometime in like February. There were four of them there: Ollie, Abby, Jim, and Pat. So then they said, "Okay, well, we got that settled. Why don't we go over to Jim? You said you wanted to have everybody have some dessert. You wanted to share with us all." And Jim said, "Oh yeah. We can head over there, sure." So they all got in their cars and they all went over to Jim's house. And yeah, he'd made this like a giant creme brulee. So they all had bits of that, and it was delicious. And then Abby looked over at the kitchen wall. Said, "Jim, your calendar." Jim said, "What? Oh, weird. That one's cut off too." Now, I'm sure I didn't have a cutoff on my New Year's Day because I know that I had plans and I wrote them on there. That's two places where the New Year's Day has been stolen. And they went around and they found that Ollie was gone and Pat's was gone. In fact, the New Year's Day squares on everybody's calendars was missing. Also, can you stop that, please? As it happens, it was only a few days away from New Year's Day. So they tried to figure out who had stolen all of the New Year's Day squares on everyone's calendar, but they hadn't really gotten anywhere. But then on New Year's Day... Can you lay down, please? Sit down. No, work with me here. So yeah, it got to be New Year's Day. And Ollie woke up. He was going to go across the street and get a cup of coffee and a muffin. And when he went to go open his doorknob was gone. With a little pick and a spoon, he managed to get the door open anyway. He looked down the hall, and all the doorknobs were gone.
Oh, no.
He went down to the front door, and even the little kind of handle thingy, that was gone.
What?
And he went across the street to get coffee, and they said their doorknobs were gone too. In fact, the doorknobs were gone all around town, just like the calendar days had been.
How could it be?
I got a call from Abby. He said, "Ollie, all the doorknobs in my house are gone." Abby said, "Yeah." Ollie said, "Yep, I think we're going to find that the doorknobs are missing all across town." That's thousands of doorknobs. How could thousands of doorknobs disappear? All in one day. I says, "Well, I don't know exactly, but it sounds like I might know who, if not how." So what do you mean? All the doorknobs disappearing on one day? That sounds like a rhyme master scheme to me. I said, "The rhyme master?" I said, "Yeah, he's a magic super criminal. Tangled with him a few times. I bet he's disappeared all the doorknobs and all the days, using one of his weird magical spells." I said, "Oh, but I need my doorknobs." I said, "Oh, I know. I think I'm probably one of the only people in our building that managed to get out of their apartments without doorknobs." But where would he be? Ollie said, what do you mean? Well, where would he be? He has to have taken the doorknobs somewhere. I guess I don't care much about the calendar squares, but where did he disappear those donuts? Or doorknobs to?
Donut.
Not donuts. My mistake.
What if the donuts did disappear?
That'd be even more D's then, wouldn't it? I guess
Yeah.
Anyway,
What from the donation?
yes. You could donate all the donuts that had disappeared to the distillery? I don't know. Anyway, back to the story. And he said, all right, but wait, so where would we find it? Oh, I said, I think we've got to go down. Elsa, I know. I said, down, what do you mean? I said, well, I don't know exactly. But if I was going to disappear a bunch of donuts or doorknobs on a day, then I'd find a way to go down if I were a rhyme master. I said, okay, but you know, that's alliteration, not rhyming. I said, what? I said, yeah, it's all D's at the beginning of that dumb beeping sound. I said, oh, you're right. It's not rhyming. It's alliteration. But I'm not sure it makes a difference. I still think we need to go down. What are the lowest, deepest places in Baltimore? Abby said, well, there's two I can think of. One's not properly in Baltimore, but it's the quarry up in Timonium. That's pretty deep. So they got in Abby's car, and they drove all the way out to the quarry. And they figured, you know, that's because like a quarry would be enough room to put a bunch of doorknobs, like thousands of doorknobs.
And calendar squares.
And calendar squares. So it seemed like a reasonable choice. And they drove all the way up there. And first of all, it's locked. So Abby says, Ollie, I think we're going to have to stay back behind. I bet you can get in, but I don't think I can. I said, I think you're right. Don't you go... So I park over there by that gas station, and I'll sneak my way in. So Ollie found a corner of the property where there didn't seem to be much stuff there, not much activity. So he climbed up the wall as fast as he could, which was pretty fast, because it was like a chain link fence with a wall behind it, which kind of made it easy to climb for an octopus anyway. So he climbed...
So can Marion.
Yeah, well... Marion shouldn't be climbing chain link fences, but that's okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
So he climbed up, and he got way up into a tower and looked down into the quarry, and a whole lot of nothing. There were a couple of big puddles. They had lights going all the way down, and there's no doorknobs. So I climbed back down, and he said, nah, that wasn't, it's just an empty quarry.
Why shouldn't it have sea life?
Sea life? No.
Like the quarry at...
You thinking of a coral reef?
No. Like at the quarry in the sea. The aquarium. What is that called?
I'm not sure.
What is a quarry anyway?
Oh. Quarry is where they dig for rocks. So if they're making like a granite countertop or a marble staircase or things like that.
Or a marble countertop,
Yeah.
like the one that was broken during my 7th party.
Who broke a marble countertop at your 7th birthday party?
A basketball bounced on it and knocked it down and broke it because of all the pressure on the top floor.
At your 7th birthday party?
Yeah.
Whose countertop was it?
Ours.
We don't have a marble countertop.
We had one. And the reason we don't have one now is because a soccer ball knocked it down and it went clash.
How do I not remember this at all? That's weird. Okay. I'm sure I'll remember later. Anyway, gotta get back to our story. Had a lot of tangents. We just have no more tangents. We gotta finish our story. All right. So quarry is a place that they dig for rocks. It's like a mine, but for rocks.
Mines are.
Fair point. Yep, no, you're right. You're right. It tends to be a big hole in the ground, as opposed to a mine where you dig into the side of a mountain. A quarry, you tend to just dig straight down. So, Ollie got back down to the car after that long tangent on quarries and such things. Said, okay, well, there's one other place I can think of, but if I think of Baltimore and I think of down, I think of the subterranean complex underneath Lexington Market. I said, oh, is it still there? I thought they were redeveloping that. She said, well, I don't know. I think so. Let's go find out. Now, by this time, it was the afternoon, late afternoon even. On New Year's Day, which is already a sleepy day. So they got to Lexington Market, and there wasn't really much going on. You know, a couple of the shops were open, but like most of them weren't. There are a few people wandering around, but not many shoppers. Basically just Faidley's, the place that has the crab cakes. A couple of the other restaurants were open. So I said, how do we get to the subterranean, what's it? So, well, it was an old nightclub, or a speakeasy. It may have been part of some sort of secret lounge. Sometimes it's just been storage, but it's been a whole lot of nothing right now. Let's see. I know what we could do. I said, what? So we're going to find the shopkeep. It looks like he's been there a long time. Hopefully they're in. Good, stop twitching around, please. Still. They walked around for a little bit, and they saw this really old, nice-looking shop. But you could tell from like the way that the paint was worn and the edges on the sign were rounded that it had been there a long time. And the guy that looked like the guy that was working there looked like he'd been there a long time. I said, hey, have you been in this shop a long time? I said, oh man, have I ever? Yeah. Shoot. I took this shop over in 1970. Abby said, perfect. Then you'll be the one to know. How do we get down to the subterranean level? I said, oh, that. Well, I can tell you, but there ain't been anything interesting down there in a long time. Used to be a couple of secret nightclubs down there. Back when in my heyday, but not right now. But here's the thing. Nothing's free. So what do you mean? I said, you gotta be, I'm only gonna help out my customers with secret information about secret underground lairs. I said, well, these cookies look delicious. He said, they are delicious. I'll take 6 of those. Abby said, ooh, and is that coffee? Ollie, you want a coffee? I said, oh yeah. So they happily sipped their coffee and snacked on their cookies while the old guy took them around and showed them around the history of Lexington Market. Now, if I had really been researching the story ahead of time, I would have had some interesting Lexington Market history facts, but I don't, other than the fact that the subterranean thing is real. So,
What the heck? I want to down there.
I know, me too. I don't know that they are, anyway. So, he led him around to the side. It's kind of near like a janitorial storage closet. And then there was a door. It was a red door. Fairly nondescript. The guy opened it up, turned on the light, and said, that's as far as I can take you. I got to get back to my shop. Good luck. Be careful there. I don't know what's down there right now, so you tell me when you get there. Or, well, when you come back up. I took another sip of coffee and said, well, nice to meet you. So they went down the stairs. There were lights, but it was still creepy. Kind of moist. Well, not moist, humid. And other than the lights, which were like Christmas lights kind of strung along the walls, it was dark. It's creepy. You could tell that it wasn't meant to be a public area. They didn't really know what the layout was. You know, was it a big open room, or was it a bunch of little hallways? Stop picking at your mouth right now. You, stop. Hang out your mouth.
I'm not.
Well, whatever you do with your mouth, stop. So they wandered around for a little bit, tried to make sure they kept track of where their entrance was, so they could get back out again. And they came around a corner, and there was a big open area, kind of like the Middle Lexington Market, but this one was underground. you know what they saw there?
What?
Thousands and thousands and thousands. Thousands and thousands and thousands of doorknobs. And the biggest pile of doorknobs you ever saw.
And calendar square?
And then off in one corner, an impressive pile. Doesn't take up nearly as much room as doorknobs. But yes, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of calendar squares. And I went over to the calendar squares and they all said January 1st. I said, that's today. I said, well, do you think you can find your doorknob? She looked and she said, no. But then, well, we better find the rhyme master. Then there's a laugh. There's, ha, 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 ha. I said, nope, we don't have to find him. There he is. Rhyme master. I said, yes, Ollie, you solved my riddle. I said, hi, rhyme master. This is Abby. I said, hello, nice to meet you. I said, hey, rhyme master. I said, yeah? How long have you been playing this one? Oh, months. The big trick was figuring out how to... Well, the doorknobs, I said. What? No, that was the second hardest trick. The hardest trick was the squares, actually. That was really difficult. I said, well, I guess I don't care much about the squares, but can you put the doorknobs back? I said, well, that's the deal. I said, what do you mean? I know that you probably want to, have me arrested for stealing all the doorknobs. I said, yeah, I kind of do. Stop. I said, but this was all just a game for me, Ollie. I'm not going to jail over this. I said, I think I can see where this is going. Abby said, what? I think I see where this is going. But go ahead, Rhyme Master. Reveal the last phase of your secret plot. Said, I can put all the doorknobs back with the same trick I used to take them away. But to do that, you're going to have to let me be. And when you get back, I said, you won't be here. I'll be long gone after I place the last doorknob. I said, well, one of these times, Rhyme Master, I'm going to catch you in a way that I get to keep you. I said, yep, but not today. And then stood there awkwardly for a minute. Could I seriously stop? There was going to be a poof of smoke or something? I said, oh, no. No, you solved the riddle a little faster than I thought. I don't have any pyrotechnics ready. You guys just have to go. And I'll put all the doorknobs back tonight, I promise. And Abby said, this is one of your arch nemesis, huh? As I started to walk away, I said, no, he's really quite good. He's an impressive trickster. Usually he gets the theatrics right, but I guess we got ahead of the game there. So they left. And they went up to the same place that they bought the cookie and the coffees. And I said, so, what'd you find? I said, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. I said, try me. Well, it's a semi-evil trickster wizard sitting on a mountain of doorknobs.
And calendar squares.
And calendar squares. The guy said, oh, so you're telling me there's some weirdo in the basement, he's got my doorknob? I said, yep, and every other doorknob in town.
And calendar squares.
And calendar squares, sorry, I know you keep track of the calendar squares. I said, well, what are you going to do about it? I said, well, I'm going to hope. And then Ollie and Abby walked away, and I said, they're really just going to trust him. I said, the thing is, I don't have another choice, because I really don't want to go around figuring out who everybody's doorknobs are. So they went to bed. Right about 3 a.m., Ollie heard a ka-chunk. And he looked, and his doorknobs were all back. He opened the door, looked down the hallway, and there were doorknobs on every door. Then he saw a little note on his doorknob. The front just said R.H. He picked it up, and it just said, see you next time, comma, Ollie. Or, no, see you next time, Ollie, comma, Rhyme Master. And that...
You said Rag Master.
I meant to say Rhyme Master. And that was the case of Ollie and the missing calendar squares and missing doorknobs.